Chris Forsberg covers the Celtics for NBC Sports Boston. That's Pearson Garnett, who were in the building last night, talking about Joel Embiid, who's not playing tonight for the Sixers and has already, before the season started, just announced, I'm not playing back-to-backs, by the way, like ever. Like, I'm just not going to play them. So don't get your hopes up, everyone.
Don't even think about it. It's not happening.
Yeah, like, what I'm just not going to do it. All right, Chris, what does this mean? I know the Popovich thing, and I know resting star players, but this isn't new. I mean, this is kind of new, just before the season. It's not new resting guys, obviously, but before the season, just making this kind of announcement. What do you think it means for the league?
So, I mean, for the league, it's not great. Like, obviously, there's going to be nights, especially when there's marquee games that they're going to want him out there. And I wonder how that will play itself out. You know, one thing I think, like, a couple big picture things. One, like, it makes me appreciate that Jason Tatum is out there. You know, as every other superstar is like, I need to take this night off, that night off. And Tatum's like, I want to play Monday nights in Charlotte. Like, that's, you know, people are buying tickets to come see me. And I don't think we appreciate enough that, like, they want to play, that they literally have to fight him to take a night off. And it's refreshing that your superstars want to do that. Two, I'm so mad at myself that I talked myself into the Sixers being a legitimate team before the season based on their roster moves. And already I'm like, what was I thinking? Like, they can't even get through the regular season, let alone what is Embiid going to do in the playoffs when he's got to go up and down for 40 minutes a night? And I just don't know if that's possible. You know, like, nothing about his history in the NBA suggests he can endure that sort of rigor of the postseason. And so, like, to me, that's what it hinges on. Maxey can be great, and Paul George can be much better than Tobias Harris. But if Embiid can't get himself up and down the court and give you 40 good minutes a night in the playoffs, you're toast. And so, I don't know. Like, they've got that. It's gonna be very interesting. Like, between that, the Bucks being old, you know, like, it's just not a good situation. And that's why, like, I'm further emboldened that the Celtics are just that much different than the rest of the East.
Yeah. Can I just ask you a question that might sound dumb? Why is it? I understand with Embiid in his legs and Porzingis in his legs, but why for, you know, let's say someone who's under 7 feet, is it so difficult to play basketball 3 days a week? When I just like literally like 3 years before that, they were playing multiple games a day in AAU.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's like pitchers in baseball. We're just way too sensitive to it. But now, like, I try to balance it because as I want to get overly worked up and sound like a dinosaur and say, like, oh, they can't play. Bob Cousy was playing in Converse high tops and, like, they were fine. Like, why can't they get out there? You know, I do think, like, the Celtics have treaded cautiously with Al Horford, and it has paid dividends. But, like, to me, that's a little bit different in terms of
he's 38. Yeah, like, I get that. You know, and I get Porzingis, and I almost even get Embiid. I don't understand why. I know why they're doing it, and it might make sense. I don't know why you'd make the announcement beforehand. That just seems kind of like thrown in people's faces is kind of the point with that. And listen, this isn't being an old guy going, oh, they showed too many threes or there's no hand checking. But later in that Garnett Pierce thing, they do talk about how the game's not physical anymore, and they're not complaining about it. They're going, they literally, the two of them are talking about how are these guys getting hurt? What is making them get hurt? So two guys that played in the NBA for a long, long time can't figure out how this is leading to like why this is so difficult to do, to play play 78 games a season.
Like, the Celtics have all these great sports science people that tell us to, you know, inform players the best way to keep their bodies healthy. And I don't want to, like, disrespect what they do, but yeah, it's weird that we have so much more information. We have so much more, like, analytics about how to keep guys healthy. And yet, for whatever reason, it seems impossible. And I don't know what that speaks to. Is it just like the game is that, you know, difficult on the body or whatever? But, you know, credit to the Celtics. Like, besides Porzingis, they really kept this team healthy last year. They limited the injuries. I think it's part of the reason they were so successful. I don't understand why it's such a, you know, an issue around the league. And I hate that it's become such a common talking point where, like, marquee games and you tune into a game and the superstars aren't playing. And I know they've done everything they can to combat it. but there's still work to be done because it's just not fair for people, especially that, purchase tickets far. Imagine being a Sixers season ticket holder and you're looking at your schedule now and like 8 home games or something and Embiid's not playing and you're like, well, is that fair? I just plunked down all this cash. It kind of sucks.
Maybe one of the issues is they're out there for so many hours beforehand. First of all, with the morning shoot around, and then the warm ups. On the handful of times I've been to it, like game day at the Garden or other places, I'm like, these guys are working out too much before the freaking games. Maybe on the back-to-backs they could just let them show up 20 minutes ahead of time, get dressed, and go out there and play. Chris, I'd be exhausted. I think they warm up too much.
I mean, Hardy, we're out there playing like 36 holes of golf and stuff. Like we're grinding through. We can make this happen.
I ran a 5K on Sunday.
Was Jordan doing that, by the way, when he would go out and play 36 on a game day? Was he going to morning shoot around and then warming up 2 hours before the game, and then going in and getting dressed, taking a shower, and then you go out there and warm up again, and then you do the layup line? It's too much. It's too much.
I mean, I don't know. The other thing is like, if you've ever seen a shoot around, it's like they come in, they eat their Fruity Pebbles, they get out on the court, they stretch a little. There's not a lot of hard activity going out there. It's more just like, okay, making sure you shake the cobwebs and get going. But I do agree. There's got to be a better way to pace everybody to ensure that in the 48 minutes that you need to be productive, you can be productive. Because even as a reporter, I want to go out there. I want to see the marquee matchups. I want to see it. I understand there has to be some semblance of pacing guys, but we just reached the point where it's maddening that even before the start of the damn season, we're sitting here talking about it.
Have Fruity Pebbles overtaken Frosted Flakes as the preferred breakfast cereal of the NBA? Because for years, Shaq was all about the Frosted Flakes. Mm-hmm. You mentioned Fruity Pebbles just now. Yesterday, we saw the now viral worldwide sensation video of LeBron James punking his kid by putting the Fruity Pebbles in the car.
Don't get me started.
It's the second mention of Fruity Pebbles with regard to the NBA in this show today. It can't be a coincidence.
I'm gonna have to do some digging and really like lean into this. I do know the Celtics have like this. They have a peanut butter dispenser. It dispenses natural peanut butter, the low sugar, the stuff that doesn't taste like Jif and all the good. Yeah, like it's not as good, but it is like super super fresh, I guess, out of this machine, and people swear by it. So I'm sure they have some like healthy version of Fruity Pebbles that I'll have to find out if it actually exists.
All right, what did you make of the Bronny James debut yesterday for the Lakers?
Look, from a parent perspective, I think I said this before when we were talking about it. Like, I think it's a cool moment and like something that if I'm not an athlete, but if I was and I had a chance to play with my kid, that would be amazing. The video that you guys were referencing where they have like multiple camera angles of Bronny getting into his car and LeBron pulling away, and I'm like, oh my God, it just felt so staged. It's like, enjoy your moment and get it in while you can, and then can we just let's just let the poor kid go develop in the G League and see if he can actually be a pro without the crushing pressure of having LeBron James as your father on there. But it's I don't know, like I want to celebrate it in one sense, but on the other hand, it's just like it's such a spectacle, and I feel so bad for the kid, the pressure that he's going to endure. Yeah, it's just like it's so unfair.
It's incredibly selfish of LeBron James, and it's funny because if you hear him talk about it afterwards, it's all about him. He's like, yeah, it's like I'm so glad that I did so much that I could make this happen. I mean, he's a real narcissist. Like, he hasn't thought this through at all. And if you're Bronny, I mean, again, I just think he took it too far. You want to help your kid. I see getting him into a college. Look, was he a 5-star recruit for real? Probably not. Would he have been a McDonald's All-American? No. But, like, I can see, greasing the wheels at USC. You want him close. Doing that, but I'd stop with getting him on the NBA roster or getting him drafted. That would be where I would stop.
You're not going to have to worry about it. He's going to go to El Segundo and play in the G League.
Yeah,
next
but
week,
I'm just talking about it as a father, as Chris was. I just don't think I think it's incredibly selfish. You're putting yourself in the experience that you want to have over what's better for your kid. It's dictating their life in a way that benefits you. Go ahead.
I do believe like LeBron and probably like the same way I'd probably irrationally think my kids are better at something than they maybe are. And like, I'd like, you want to believe like that they're going to be otherworldly. And I do think like Bronny James has some talent in him that, whether it was the health issues or just like, again, the being allowed the time to develop that, will eventually shine through. It's just, it does feel a little bit forced right now. And what's weird is like, I think back to when I was a kid, you remember Ken Griffey Jr. coming up and getting to play with his dad with the Mariners. And it was like a huge moment. And actually like one of the things I always remember, but it made sense because Ken Griffey Jr. was this otherworldly talent.
Number one overall
like
pick.
His dad.
Yeah.
No, that's why it was cool. It's because he was because I remember it too. And even looking back, it was so great because he was 19?
19, and it was obvious that he was great.
And I don't think, and there was like a hesitation to bring him up. I don't even think they brought him up in the middle of the season, maybe.
Yes.
And like his dad was old as hell, but had just like, and it kind of just ended up happening that way. Like that was
right.
The reason that was so great is that you knew everyone wanted to see the kid play anyway, and he's playing in the outfield next to his dad, who's been in the league for his dad had been in the league and earned it.
His dad was 40. I mean, it's just he had been in the league.
It would be like
20 years.
If the kid at Duke, the New Hampshire kid, Cooper Flagg. It'd be like if Cooper Flagg's dad, was a journeyman NBA player, had been in the league for 10 years, and goes like, dude, I'm going to stay in the league one more year to see if I can play with my kid. Then you're like, yeah, that's great. Everyone wants to see your kid. It's cute that you're there. It's almost better if the kid's better than the dad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And I also wonder if like we would have viewed it differently in social media and like just all the Griffey would have been such a big story on the ramp up to getting to the majors that it would have been a bigger deal. And I don't know, maybe we would have viewed it differently. There is some bit of this that's like it was a little bit more endearing because we didn't know so much. But like certainly looking back, like it's something that not a lot of baseball memory stuck with me as a kid, and like that is one that I'm just like I was like fascinated by, and I wish it was the same with LeBron. I wish there was more just wholesomeness to it, and it doesn't feel like that's where we're at with it.
It's just it's a business. It's a selfish decision from a guy who has earned because he did earn it, because this is the spoils of it, basically running a franchise in basically the league as well. So I mean, I don't think it's a great look for the league. I think the NBA is doing a lot of stuff that's not so great for it. Like, I don't think this Bronny thing and him getting drafted as like a joke is very good for the league. And I certainly, what we just discussed, I don't think is the greatest. But Chris, you are the greatest.
Aww. Can I tell you a quick story? I went to play golf at Blue Hills in Canton, and the starter walks up to me, and he's very nice, and he's like, do you mind if we take a photo? And I'm like, there's got to be bigger celebrities that come through here, right? Like I don't even put myself in that class. And he goes, yeah. And he flips open his camera roll and he's showing me Tatum. There were a couple Patriots guys in there. And then he goes, and this guy, and he pulls up a picture of Hardy.
Hey,
that was Matty Siegel's club.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So I then
you just put a smile on Hardy's face.
Oh, he's jumping for joy over here. Check him out.
I'm telling you, I was very impressed, and they talked you right up, Hardy. So I need to get my swing in tune before I even step near a golf course with you.
No, that was very nice. You must get recognized all the time, though. I mean, you're this,
No, God, no. I live out in the middle of nowhere. People are wouldn't even think I live out here. So they're very nice to me, and they let me be anonymous.
But when you come into civilization, bi-weekly, you must get recognized all the time. You're a handsome fellow, and you're all over the TV set.
You follow Scalabrini around for a day and you realize what it's like to be recognized. When people come up and say nice things, it is, as you guys I'm sure get it as well, is insanely flattering. And yet, like, I always feel so awkward because I'm like, man, this person must be so let down meeting me and seeing how awkward and like weird I am. So like it's a two-way street.
Yeah, I get the opposite. When people get the pleasure of meeting me, I can see almost a sexual hunger in their eyes.
Men and women.
Yeah.
Because men want to be you, women want to be with you.
Men want to be in me, and women want me in them.
Okay.
Of course.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. Adam is shaking his head. Like, I'm not sure about that one either.
Yeah, I don't like that hat either, Adam.
I gave him an SSD hat. I thought he was going to put it on.
And I gave him an STD. I'm having fun over here, Chris.
Thanks for being here.
I love it.
All right, thank you, Chris.
Thanks,
appreciate it. Chris Forsberg, everyone. I don't like that. Adam needs to guffaw at everything I say.
he gave you a mildly disgusted head shake with it was the preposition in that I think he found distasteful and maybe dumpable.
Oh, get out of here.
He
Stop
did not.
that
He did not do
nonsense.
that.
He did not find that. That's
No.
that's what are you talking about?
Okay.
That's nonsense.
I know the look.
Huh?
I know the look.
From when? He's been running your board for a long time?
Yeah.
If you like that clip, check out more videos from Toucher and Hardy here. For more Celtics analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.